Boom! What's good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another great edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. Today we are talking trade, and rookie mini camps. They have begun, so shout out to them. The Giants did their rookie mini camp. Numbers were assigned. I don't know if those are the numbers that are going to stay because after rookie training camps they tend to change. So we'll see if they stay. But without further ado, I am not alone. I'm never alone. I got my right-hand man with me right here. Caleb, how are you doing? How you living?
Hope is being restored. The optimism is rising. So I'm doing pretty damn well.
All right. Well, let's see if you guys actually do something with it. The Giants did also sign someone of a receiver caliber that people thought was going to be the next big thing, but then didn't pan out because he went to Jacksonville.
Nobody thought he was going to be next.
He had multiple great playoff games, so I don't know what you're talking about. People had big hopes for this kid. Yeah. It's just he got injured and then went to Jacksonville. Shout out to my main man Leo. Leo, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good.
That's where because the Giants are where players go to die. So,
but he died in Jacksonville.
Well, the Giants didn't. What happened to Kenny Galladay?
He died.
He died in the New York Giants uniform. Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But we'll talk about that later. But the big news coming out of both of our teams, it is George Pickens is a Dallas Cowboy. It cost you a third and a fifth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a third and a fifth.
Just a third because basically if he doesn't work out, we get the fifth round compensation. So.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, so basically a third. Basically so you sent him in a sixth, which is a sixth. Okay. All right, it's a sixth. How many?
They gave us a sixth, yeah.
No, you gave them a sixth.
No, they gave us a sixth.
So Pickens in a sixth for a third and a fifth, which technically is just a third, because if he doesn't work out, it cancels out the fifth. So yeah, so a Pickens for a third, basically. Pickens for a third. Last week we talked about how in the draft, they didn't go receiver 2. They didn't add more weapons for Dak Prescott. Didn't help alleviate the pain for CeeDee Lamb. But they got George Pickens. Caleb, do you think it's going to work? The personalities in the locker room, people have been saying a lot about George Pickens. And also, too, there's kind of a rule in the NFL. It's unspoken, and people kind of follow it. You should never really go after wide receivers that Pittsburgh is willing to let go. And of all the receivers that they've let go over the past, 10 years, only 2 post-Steelers have done anything of note. One being Emmanuel Sanders when he won Super Bowl 15, was a very good player for the Denver Broncos. Shout out to Adelia in the chat. Shout out to you, Adelia. Hey, everybody. Also, the Nuggets play today, so I hope the Nuggets win as well. And in a sense, Mike Wallace, he had a couple good years.
Didn't do anything with the
Dolphins. Well, no. It was a couple good years.
I thought you were gonna say Antonio Brown. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he rode the coattails.
But he won a Super Bowl. I mean, if you leave a team and go win a ring, I mean I would call that success.
Yeah, Shady McCoy left his team and won a Super Bowl in Kansas City.
I would still call it a success. He wasn't gonna win it where.
Okay, fine. Antonio Brown. Well, Mike Wallace had, as a receiver, Mike Wallace had some good years. He had 1,000 yards in Baltimore, which is very hard to do. He had a couple good years in Miami. Then, he kind of then flamed out. But compared to the other players, those are successes. Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, I guess. Antonio Brown will throw him in there. And Mike Wallace, I guess. But most of them, Martavius Bryant. Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Suge Knight, is Dak even going to play next year? Hearing Dak's daughter's not doing well, praying for her. Oh wow! Oh my God! Hope she's okay.
I heard nothing about that.
Yeah, the team won the Super Bowl, not AB. Stop it, Caleb. That's what he said. So yeah, you could agree that he had a great career.
So he got a ring, didn't he? Like what?
Yeah, so does the third string left tackle.
Okay, if you go somewhere else and get a ring, I would call it success.
Okay, all right. I'm not. This
That's the reason why you leave the current team.
Yeah, valid. That's a valid question. It's a valid question. But we go into it. So, but there's been a lot of failures as well. More failures than successes is what I'm trying to say here. Chase Claypool, Dante Johnson, Martavius Bryant. Um, what did Antoine Randall L do post Steelers? You know what I mean? Like we don't know. Santonio Hams had one good year in New York, and then that was it. You know what I mean? So like that's the golden rule. So are the Dallas Cowboys, do they know something that we don't? Are they gonna buck the trend? But the thing is here, y'all also did trade a fourth for Jonathan Mingo. So what are we gonna get? What are we getting, Caleb? What do you think?
Yeah, that was a bad trade.
Yeah.
Um, but what are we gonna get? I mean, hopefully he just keeps it on straight. I
Oh,
mean,
he heard the Dak news from a Cowboy fan. Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, we're
Also too, he left the Raiders, not the Steelers. It's true.
that's
It's true. It's true. So continue, Caleb.
Um, yeah, if he keeps he doesn't do the stuff that he was doing up in Pittsburgh, including what he did against the Cowboys. I mean, we were first witnesses to that when he pulled Jordan Lewis to the ground by his face mask, and get a sportsmanlike penalty for that. If he doesn't do those type of things, then this could definitely work out for us. I mean, this is the biggest need I felt that we had before going into the draft. All off season. We didn't coming out of last season even. We just did not have anybody else to throw the ball to outside of CD Lamb. And when CD Lamb is double covered, it's basically there's nothing there. There's nothing there, whether it was Dak Prescott or it was Cooper Rush throwing the ball. There was nobody to throw to. And that was a huge problem for us. We didn't really have a lot of talent on the outside, and we needed a receiver that could play like him. That's going to be on the outside, because CD likes to line up in both places, both outside and inside. So we need someone stable on the outside to catch those deep routes, and that's what he can do. And we've had this receiver before. He was called Des Bryant. It's basically extremely similar player in multiple ways, and
So
that
is Jerry Jones gonna have full time security just watching him all day? Is that
I mean,
what?
he may need to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a lot of the stuff is not off the field. I mean, his stuff is on the field.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but
we actually don't know because we didn't know a lot of stuff about Antonio
that's
Brown
true.
and
But at
and
least
then
the stuff that people are saying about him is his actions on the field, his attitude, and his penalties that he has. But like we said, we've dealt with that before with Des Bryant. He was literally the exact same way. And Dak played with him for.
Shug by midseason, Caleb's gonna want him gone. So we'll see about that. We'll
We'll,
see.
we'll
Yeah,
see. I mean, we'll see. That's what I said.
we'll definitely see it. We'll definitely
It's
see.
determined on his attitude. It's
We're
determined
gonna
how he plays. I mean,
well
it's just if
if
he
he
if he
spaz out.
decides to not do the things that he was doing, then I think it'll work out because he is extremely talented. He's an extremely good receiver. And like I said, he's exactly what Des Bryant was. He's a guy that can go up and get contested balls. That's exactly what Des Bryant was. Um, and he's also has the same kind of weaknesses as Des Bryant. Des Bryant was not a good route runner. Now there's George Pickens. He doesn't get a lot of separation from the defender. He just kind of goes up and gets it and kind of takes it away, snatches it away from the defender, so the DB can't get it. Pretty much just like Des Bryant did. Um, so like I said, the reason why I think it'll work out because of Dak Prescott. Um, Dak Prescott, whatever you want to say about him, you want to call him a bad quarterback. Like I don't really care. Obviously, I disagree with you. But what you can't call him is he's a really good leader of the team. He's a guy that can step up and get after his guys. He's done that multiple times. He did that with CD, even when CD was going a little crazy on the sideline trying to asking for the ball. He got him in line. So that's what Dak Prescott is good at. And if anybody,
Because he ended up giving him the ball.
well, even no, not even just giving him the ball, just getting him under control, telling him something, yelling. If he needs to yell at a guy, he will. Um,
But how
uh,
do you get a receiver in control, Caleb? But let's say he's like you said, he was spazzing
he
out.
did. I literally saw it in the game. Like
Yeah.
CD Lamb was very frustrated on the sideline, and then
Then you just tell him, I'll get you the ball. Then you
yeah,
give him the ball. And then CD Lamb's no longer frustrated.
yeah, but it's not even just that. I mean, obviously he wants that, but you just whatever you need to say to him to get him under control, whatever that conversation is.
Mhm.
Dak Prescott is willing to do that, and guys listen to him. At least they really do. They get behind him, um, and so yeah, if I think this is one of a perfect situation for even George Pickens to be in, to have a quarterback like Dak. I mean, I'd be frustrated too if he was playing with the Steelers quarterbacks. I mean, he had some reasons to go a little crazy, playing with Kenny Pickett and Russell Wilson and Mason Rudolph. So I understand his frustrations there. Um,
Absolutely not. I am the quarterback. You know, I am Dak Prescott.
not.
You're
You're the one who goes crazy all the time.
yeah, no, but no, no. So you're not. So I'm Dak, and you're not Des or Pickens. You're Jake Ferguson. That's what you are. You know, you're just there.
I'm like Jay Ferguson.
You're Jake Ferguson. You know, you're
No,
you're you're Dalton Schultz. You're Jason Witten. I'm Tony
I'll be
Romo.
Jason Witten. I'll be Jason Witten.
Yeah, you're Jason Witten. That's what you
But
are.
Jason Witten was the leader, so that's okay with me.
So what? So Tony Romo wasn't a leader.
No, Jason Witten was the leader.
Okay, then I'm Jason Witten. Then
No, I'm Jason Witten.
no, then you're not Jason. Okay, I'm. You know what? Then I'm DeMarcus Ware.
Well, Demarcus Ware never talked. Like, what do you
Okay, then
mean?
that's you. And that's you then. You're DeMarcus Ware. You know the guy who had to leave Dallas to win a Super Bowl. That guy. You know, in Denver. That guy. Yeah, that guy.
He didn't
By the
even
way,
lead them. Von Miller led them.
yeah, but he helped Von Miller free
Yeah,
up
he
one on
helped
ones.
them, but I mean, the leader
Yeah,
of the
free up one
defense
on
was
ones.
Von Miller.
And you know, Suge was like, "Shut your mouth, Caleb."
Yeah,
Ooh,
well, you had bad quarterbacks. How am I saying anything? You had horrible quarterback play.
yeah, you did, Suge. You did have horrible quarterback play. You know, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges,
I mean,
um,
yeah. I mean, do you? I mean, yeah. If he's going a little crazy on the sideline because
Kenny
his
Pickett.
quarterbacks suck,
Yeah,
yeah, you can understand that.
yeah. See,
Yeah,
DeMarcus
I
was a big
understand it
part
was
of
a
the.
big part. I'm saying he
Yeah,
didn't lead them. I said Von Miller
I
led
think,
them.
I think DeMarcus Ware led that defense. I think he did.
How
I
do you
think
lead the defense when Von Miller got way more sacks than him?
no, being a leader and being the
He
best
wasn't a
player,
leader though. He was a quiet guy. Even with the Cowboys, he wasn't
he didn't, he
that.
didn't, he didn't, he didn't lead through
No,
example.
he not well through example, yes, but not
He's
through
Tim
actually
Duncan.
saying
Would you
anything.
say Tim Duncan's not a leader?
No, wasn't Popovich the leader?
Tim Duncan was a leader on that Spurs team, my guy.
Yeah, but Popovich led the whole team.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what a coach does, but you still have team leaders, right, Caleb?
Yeah, but they kind of
You have
just
player.
followed it. They kind of were just kind of all just soldiers under the general that was Popovich.
No, Caleb.
Yeah, they were. What do you mean? No, I don't
Tim
know.
Duncan. Tim Duncan was a leader. I don't know.
By example, by example, I
A
agree with
leader.
by
But
example.
you're
But if
agreeing
you
he's a
don't talk,
leader.
how can you
He's
be
a
a leader?
leader.
How
He's the
can you be a
leader.
leader if you don't say
No, but-
shit? How can you be a leader if you don't say shit? You can be lead by example, yes, but if
yeah,
you don't say shit, then you're not like a vocal leader.
yeah. Well, he says when Pickens crashes out when Dak throws a pick in the first half, just remember I told you so. All right. Well, different types of leading. I think there's different types of leading.
I agree. He's just one of the vocal leader. I said Von Miller was, and he led by example too, more than Demarcus Ware did.
We'll see.
We,
Well,
we, we we'll see. We saw.
yeah. See, you said Tim Duncan's not a leader. That's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I can't believe you said Tim
I
Duncan's not
didn't
a
say
leader.
he wasn't the leader. I'm saying Popovich was the leader of
Well,
the team.
of course he was the leader, but you also have team leaders. It was like him, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. They were leaders,
Yes, under the leadership of Popovich.
but they're still leaders.
Okay, so everybody's a leader. If everybody's a leader, then nobody's a leader.
I literally just said only those three. I didn't say everybody.
Oh, well, there's only like 5 people on the basketball court. What are you talking about?
So the head coach is the leader of a football team, right?
No, there's more people in a football team. There's 11 guys. So you need that leader on the field. With the basketball, it's different because there's only 5 guys.
Okay, then all you need is one
And
leader.
there's
Then
one guy shouting on every single time they're out there. He could be shouting all the time. Coaches have to shut their mouth after the radio goes out.
Tim Duncan was a leader.
That's the difference. It's different. And it's a different sport. That's the point.
But leading is leading.
In the locker room, maybe.
Oh, okay, that's where most leading happens.
Oh
in the
no,
locker room.
no, not when you're in on the field and you have to get your
You
guys
can't
going.
really lead on the field, Caleb, because you're too busy in the game. You got to read and
What are
react.
you talking about?
You can't be
Exactly.
yelling
That's
at.
why I just said. That's why basketball and football is different because you do have a lot of moments where you have to talk to your guys
In the
during
huddle,
in the huddle. Exactly. That's my point. They're different sports.
but you're relaying a play call from your
That's
leader.
why it's easier on basketball because you're just always playing.
But you're replaying a play call from your leader, right? Because everyone has headsets now. Your defensive coordinator says, "Here's the play call.
Yeah,
Say the
but
play
you
call."
can change up the play.
Well, depending on if your head coach allows you to do that.
Sometimes you don't really care.
Then that's how you stop being the
And then
leader.
no, that's how you become a leader because you say, no, we ain't gonna listen to them. We're gonna do what we want to do because I'm the leader of this team, and we're
What if
gonna go
what
out
you
there
want
and
to?
run
What
this
if
play.
you want to do what you want to do was the wrong thing to do, and you give up a touchdown?
And then you put it on yourself. That's what a leader does.
Exactly. But if you listen to your original coach that gave you the play that stopped the touchdown, you just look like an idiot.
That's why you need the leader on the field because you trust him to make the right decision.
But you're still feeding him. You're still feeding him calls. Then why even feeding him calls? Why even giving him this? Why even have a If you trust him on the field to make the correct call, why do you have ear to ear communication? Why do they have that then?
Well,
Get
now
rid of it.
now
Get rid of
because
it.
most quarterbacks are dumb and they don't know how to run plays anymore.
But they also give it to the defensive captain as well now. Why do you give it to him? You know, Luke Kuechly was having stuff fed to him, but then he added
they cut it off after.
Yeah, exactly. But it still gets fed. But then he has to then say, "Oh, a quick adjustment." But sometimes he didn't adjust because it was the right play call. Sometimes the leader knows that the play call coming in is the right thing. Let's do that.
Sometimes he doesn't, and sometimes he doesn't. That's the point of being a leader on the field.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
you're
it's a
saying he
different
completely
sport.
ignores it.
That's because sometimes you have to. I'm not saying you do it every single play. I'm saying on certain moments you gotta say we gotta do this.
Your dad said Tim Duncan is a leader.
That's because he's a Spurs fan. What the hell you?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're a Mavs fan. That's true.
Yeah.
So Dirk wasn't a leader, or was it Rick Carlisle?
I mean,
Which
Rick
one was?
Carlisle was a great coach. So I mean, I would
Yeah,
say
but
Rick
so
Carlisle.
was Dirk also not a leader?
Yeah, because he's one player. You said there was like 3 leaders on the Spurs.
Well, yeah. Well, as Tim Duncan got older,
there's like 3 leaders with five players on the damn court. Then there's really no leaders.
There's 15. But there's 15 people.
Okay,
on the team.
But there's only 5 people playing at one time.
It's 10.
There's 5. There's 5 players on your team that are playing.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, how if 3 of them are leaders? That means nobody's a leader. That means they're just all playing.
I think a maximum of 3 leaders is cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 3 out of 5. That means the whole team is just you're just leading yourselves.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Then why do people have 6 captains? It's too many.
I don't know. Just because they need someone to go there to flip a coin.
Okay, then why not just have the 3? Defense, offense, special teams. Why do you gotta have?
A lot of teams do.
Yeah, a lot of teams have 6.
A lot of teams only have like 3 guys go out there.
All right. So George Pickens, good trade?
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends. It depends if we sign him through more than this year. I mean, that's a big deal of contention. I mean, we just have him for this year, and we don't win as much as at least get to an NFC championship. Then it probably wasn't a good trade. If we do get an NFC championship and we don't get him, then I would say it was a good trade. And if we sign him for a longer term, then definitely it was a great trade. So it depends. It just depends what happens. Depends, how he is, how his attitude is, how he comes in, how he plays. All that is what we just have to see. We don't know right now, but I mean, if everything goes well, and he plays like he's supposed to, then we fill the hole that we needed. So I love it. Then I love the trade. Like I said, my optimism for this year has definitely risen because I was very negative going into the season, especially after what we did in the free agency. Wasn't too happy about not getting a receiver in the draft. So yeah, my optimism was very low. And with this trade, because we don't make these type of trades at all. We don't do this type of stuff. We haven't done it since we traded for Amari Cooper. But they saw a need and they made the move. So hey, I mean, as much shit as they get the front office for some poor moves that they do, I definitely like them, even though it's a risk. I definitely like them to take that risk for this season because, like I always say, I don't care about the future. I never look at the future because I don't care. I just want now. I want my wins now. I'm gonna wait 30 goddamn years for Super Bowl. So whatever you can do to make this team better right now, so we can help win a Super Bowl, that's what I'm gonna like.
Damn, you're waiting 30 years? Shoot. I've witnessed 2 Super Bowls in my 26 years of life.
Well, good for you. You'll never see one again.
It's valid. Maybe.
Which I would be okay with. Honestly, I would be okay if we just won one more. We won one.
Then you can just hold on to that season forever.
I can. Yeah, I would literally would not care. I literally.
I hold on.
Obviously, I would care that we would. I would want to win, obviously, but honestly, I would not care like I do care right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be close to the amount of care.
Man,
It wouldn't even be close because I care a whole lot. Like I want a Super Bowl more than like a lot of things.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me to want.
If I tell you, hey man, I'll give you a Super Bowl, or I'll give you the love of your life, which one are you choosing?
Damn.
You get the love of your life, but you never ever witness a Super Bowl ever.
God damn.
Ever. Or you get a Super Bowl and you may never meet her ever. Maybe.
I mean, I might take the Super Bowl.
Let's go, Super Bowl.
That's how much it means to me.
He was like,
I want me some glory hole.
You want the football one? All right, let's go.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, if we just won that one, the care about winning another one wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. Of how I feel right now.
Hey man, when we won 2 in like the span of like 6 years, I was like, oh wow, this is pretty fun. Can't wait to see another one in 4 years. And then it never happened again.
What, 13 years later?
Yeah, 13 years later, still starving for one. Yeah, because hey man, I randomly think about that 2011 season. I just be like, damn man, Victor Cruz was really good that year, wasn't he? He was really good. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I remember because I one time I just like it was like one day I was just like, yo man, you know how good Hakeem Hicks was against the Green Bay Packers that year?
But do you feel like a strong passion need to win another one?
Yes, I want one.
But you already seen it.
But I want another because this was the only team, right? So I'm a Knicks fan.
I think you would want a Knicks championship more than
I do. I want it more than I breathe. But
you want a Knicks championship more than you want a Giants Super Bowl
because the Knicks have hurt me more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Cowboys have hurt me.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. But the Giants, I used to rely on them. I was like, okay, the Knicks are bad. At least I have Giants football and Yankees baseball. But now the Yankees and the Giants don't give me anything. So now it's like I need y'all to give me something, please. You know what I mean? Like I used to be like, okay, at least I get to watch Giants football. I love football. The Giants are not, they're not that bad. They're good. We're a playoff team back in the day. I was like, we're good. And then the Giants the Knicks swapped.
Well, would it be better if the Giants were like the Cowboys and they were at least in playoff contention every year?
Yeah, no, but I need a Super Bowl.
Instead of the Giants just being ass every single year. It's a reason why you feel the need to give me something is because the Giants don't give you absolutely zero. If they at least gave you something, like they give you winning seasons, would you feel the same way?
I would feel more because we're so close. It's the hope that kills you, right? It's the hope that kills you. Every year you have hope. Every year you're in the playoffs. Every year you lose in the first round. And every year it's something different, right? With you, like with the Ravens, our Ravens fans say every year it's the same thing, but the way we lose is the same way. But with you, Caleb, every year it's something different, right? The year you go to San Francisco, your defense shows up, right? And they stop them, but your offense didn't.
Yep.
The following year, the defense and your offense didn't show up, and Green Bay beats you at home. You know what I mean? So every year with you, it's something different. One year, Aaron Rodgers decides to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, the defense sucked in that year. The defense sucked against the Rams.
Yeah, exactly. Every year, it's something different with you. Or like the defense sucked one year, then the offense sucked one year, or one year both your teams sucked, and the game ended by halftime, like Green Bay with Jordan Love. Jordan Love didn't play the entire fourth quarter because he was like, "Oh, the game's
Or
over."
our quarterback just gets hurt for the season.
Yeah, or your quarterback gets hurt. Exactly.
Multiple times.
Yeah, so every year it's something different. With y'all, the Ravens are Ravens fans. They say every year it's the same thing. John Harbaugh always gets outcoached in the playoffs every year, but with you, every year it's something different. Sometimes
that's because we've had multiple coaches.
Yeah.
Get to the same. It's weird because we've had multiple coaches, multiple different really talented teams with Pro Bowlers and All Pros and two different quarterbacks.
Team never lacked talent. That's the thing.
Yeah,
teams never lacked talent.
Two different really good quarterbacks that were Pro Bowl level quarterbacks.
Yes.
And
star receiver.
The same place. We get
star
to the
receiver.
Yeah, we get to the same exact place.
Yeah.
The only common denominator is Jerry Jones.
A random Boise State defender. Leo. Oh, Leo, you're not Leo.
See, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't care that much. He doesn't. That's the example. He doesn't care as much because he saw 5 of them.
Oh, yo,
so it's not as big a deal to him.
That was shady, Leo. That was shady, and I respect it.
And that's just because he's old.
We'll say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
Leo saw that live. He saw that live.
30s when that happened.
Oh my God, dude! Your dad.
He was my age when that happened.
Dude, Caleb, your dad went off the top rope. He Macho Man elbowed you. I'm sorry, man. Yo, what's our second topic? Rookie minicamp. Rookie minicamp happened. The Giants have assigned their numbers. Crazy how one of the biggest stories out of Giants rookie minicamp was what number Abdul Carter's gonna wear, because it's been a big story on what number he wants to wear.
He has 2 different Hall of Fame retired jerseys.
Yeah, he wanted 56, and then he wore the famed 11 at Penn State. Apparently, 11 has 11 always been.
I think it's been since LeVar Arrington.
But he wore 55.
He wore 11 at Penn State.
No, he wore 55 at Penn State.
Well, he won 11. Like literally, his name is. He came up with the whole tradition of wearing 11.
Then why did I see it? I saw a photo with him.
He wore 56 at Washington.
Oh, he wore 55.
And he only wore 56 because 5 + 6 is 11.
Oh no, he wore 55 as a Giant.
Yeah.
He was a Giant. That's why 55. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess since LeVar Arrington, I guess.
Yeah, I think he started the tradition.
So give our best defender 11.
Yeah.
Or is it give our best linebacker 11?
I think it's just decided. Honestly, I think it's decided by him. I think he does it like every single time they give someone.
He picks the 11?
Well, he picked his son. He picked Parsons. He picked Micah. He picked Abdul, and he picked his son.
Really?
Yeah, he like Michael Parsons used to hang. He used to mentor Michael Parsons. He mentored Abdul, and obviously he raised his son. Yeah,
LeVar Arrington, Jr. Pence. I need to find out who's before Micah.
The only Matt McGloin, I think.
Then how did he get it?
He was upset about that. He was very upset that
he was very upset about that.
About the quarterback getting 11.
Oh, okay, all right. At least. So yeah, so it's Navarro Bowman, Brandon Bell.
Yeah, it was all the linebackers.
So it's literally just for linebackers.
Yeah, I think so.
He's literally never put on anybody else but a linebacker.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's Abdul Carter, Abdul Carter, Micah Parsons, Brandon Bell, Navarro Bowman, LeVar Arrington. Did he give it to Paul Posluszny?
Probably, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because Paul was at Penn State. Did he get that? So yeah, this 11 tradition is only going back to Micah, but I want to know before Micah. That's what I want to know. Who the number 11s? Yeah, it's only been 4 linebackers to ever wear number 11.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because he did that because he mentored a lot of those guys.
Yeah. So before Carter, it was Parsons, Brandon Bell, Navarro Bowman, and LeVar Arrington. So it's Arrington, Bowman, Bell, McGloin,
Yeah,
or
McGloin.
then Parsons. Yeah. So okay. Wow, I didn't know
It
he
was
had that
in
much
McGloin, and you
power.
remember I think it might have been the other quarterback. It was one of the quarterbacks.
Was it Christian Hackenberg?
Was Hackenberg 11?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Hackenberg, McGloin.
Trace McSorley.
Sorley, that's the other one. That's the one I was
Trace
thinking.
McSorley.
McSorley. I knew
That's
there was a Mick in it. I knew there was a Mick. It
yeah.
was McSorley. That was the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. At Penn State, Hackenberg was 14. No. McSorley was 9.
Okay, then it was McGloin.
Yeah. Matt McGloin. No, McGloin was.
No, you.
Oh, yeah, no,
11?
McGloin was 11. McGloin was
There you go.
11. Yeah, McGloin was 11. Oh, wow. LeVar Arrington was very upset about that.
Yeah,
McSorley
he
was 9.
It was.
Yeah, so Parsons, and then it was Brandon Bell in the 2010s. He's from New Jersey. Bell started his first game, and then Brandon Bell. I don't really know the guy like that. But then you have Navarro Bowman. Navarro Bowman, man, you just had to be there to see. That man was special. And then he tore his ACL in Seattle that year, so it was very upsetting. But yeah, and then Arrington.
Yeah. I only know that because I listen to Two Bros and a Cup of Joe every morning.
Yeah, LeVar is the reason Penn State has been labeled LBU, even though they've only produced like 4 actual linebackers, 2, like 2.
Parsons.
He's no longer a linebacker.
He was a linebacker.
Yeah, but then that's the thing.
We drafted him as a linebacker.
Yeah, but then he stopped being one.
Well, that was our choice. That wasn't because they weren't. They was still linebacker at Penn State. He was a first round pick because he was a linebacker.
Why did you guys move him?
Because we got someone injured on the edge, so we had to.
Okay, then why don't you move him back and sign an edge?
Because he was so good. Okay. Why would we get if he's already great?
No,
why would we move him?
Just asking.
I think we should play him more at linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he should do it all the time because he wears down in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he should play it as much as he does. I think he should play linebacker and
So 11 is basically like 7 at LSU, because 7 is given to the best player on the team on LSU. Like I think Will Campbell wore 7. Like their left tackle wore 7 as a tackle.
So did you hear the story of why? Phil Simms was cool with it. It was his.
He wore it as a patch. Will Campbell, because offensive lineman can't wear number 7. So he was given. So what happens at LSU is if you're able to wear the number 7, you wear the number 7. Like running backs, quarterbacks, receivers, DBs, you wear the number 7. But Will Campbell, due to the fact that he was an offensive lineman, was given a patch that said 7, and everyone knows that he's the number 7 because number 7 matters to them. Yeah, Phil Simms says he was okay with it.
He said his family was not okay with it.
Yeah, which, yeah, I guess if you want to,
Well, I heard a good point. Like if say Phil Simms was dead and it was just up to the family, then they would have said no.
Yeah.
Because it's more for the legacy of his family, to have that number never worn again.
Yeah. Well, Ray Flattery, our number 1 that was retired, one of our great players back in the day, his family met with Malik Neighbors and said, well, we'll give you the number. So they gave him the number. They could have said no. Malik could have moved on, but they gave him. I think what happens is, due to the fact the Giants have been in the NFL since literally its inception. So we've had players that have been great since the 60s and the 50s and the 70s and all them in the 80s, all that players. So if we keep retiring numbers, we're not gonna have numbers left.
That's why I said last week there's only 100 numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think is,
with 90-man rosters in off season.
What I think is, yeah, no, but those people end up getting cut, so it doesn't matter about those people. I'm talking about the 56. The 56.
But you're not even allowed to wear it even in practice.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a rule. We should game, yeah. But the thing is, when you get down to 56, you have a lot of numbers to play with. But I think is, you retire like the really special ones, like LT. No one should wear 56. Like no one should ever wear 56. Like at all. 11 could be in that category because he was because he was our or 2.
Well, he won your first one though.
Yes, he won our first one, yeah. But then he ended up getting hurt, leading us to our second, and then Jeff Hotsteller had to play that series.
Yeah, but the first one always matters the most.
Yeah. So Phil and him, yeah. Strahan maybe 92.
I mean, the reason why Nick Foles has a statue is because they won the first Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yeah, well, him and Trey Burton, because Trey Burton is the one who threw the ball, and then but then, yeah. But the thing is here is, what I like to do it is like if you're wearing a retired number, have a patch on your jersey. Be like Malik Neighbors is wearing one. Have like a patch, which is really cool. Have say Ray Flattery on the patch, right? Like have him say that. If the family's okay with it, and and if said player is still alive, unlike Ray passed away unfortunately, but if the player is still alive and is okay with that, that's cool. Like that's what I'm saying with 88 with you, right? Every time the 88 jersey comes up, have a Drew Pearson patch because he was the first, and he's the legacy. You know what I mean? Michael Irvin,
the Hall of Famer before Pearson was.
Yeah, I know, but Drew started it. All right, Drew was like Drew Pearson was one of the best receivers in the 70s. I don't know why people keep ignoring it. I hate the Cowboys, and the Drew Pearson disrespect is wild to me. You know what I mean? It's wild to me. 2-time Super Bowl champion. You know what I mean? Like, literally Roger Staubach's. No, didn't he win? Didn't y'all win two of them in the 70s?
He won 2 of them, but he wasn't drafted yet. I think he was drafted in 75.
Y'all won one in 72?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, Drew. Damn shame, Drew. But still, I think you should. So you completely disregard Drew Pearson as the patch and put Michael Irvin instead? That's kind of disrespectful.
Well, that's why they don't put no patch. That's why it's just you get 88 because
you get 88.
88 legacy.
But you get 88 because of Drew, or do you get 88 because of Michael?
For all of them, you get it for Des Bryant. You get it for except the only 88 that nobody wants to talk about is Antonio Bryant. We don't talk about that 88.
That Bryant.
Yeah, Antonio Bryant.
Oh, he was undrafted in 73. You didn't draft him at all, Caleb.
Okay, well 73. There you go. He only won 1 Super Bowl at the point.
Oh, he's from New Jersey. Also, he was probably a Giants fan growing up. Damn shame. But he went to Tulsa? What the hell did he go to Tulsa? All right, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so you could do that. The retired number with the patch, be like, this was Ray Flaherty's number, blah blah blah. You can do that. But it is what it is. His family, I guess. So when they say his family, who is this dude that think his 88 is better than all the whiners others? What?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Because I don't know.
Who this dude that think his 88 is better than all the whiner others?
All the sure He's talking about all the Niners?
All the whiners.
Whiners. I don't know. Shout out to you, Luis. Shout out to you, Doc. But yeah, rookie mini camp. Any news coming out of Dallas rookie mini camp? Because New York, they kept it light.
It was just a walkthrough.
Yeah, that's what it happened.
They don't practice anymore. They never practice. It's basically an orientation more than it is a rookie mini camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cam Scattaboo. He wore a 44. The last time I saw 44 on a running back was Ahmed Bradshaw. Shout out to Ahmed Bradshaw, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. So we'll see if he can. Ahmed was pretty good, man. I really loved it. He was one of my favorite players. Him and Brandon Jacobs, man, they were tremendous. So let's see if he can live.
Is Cam Scattaboo the new Brandon Jacobs?
He's not as big as Brandon Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs 6'3", like 285 pounds, I think. So no. So he's more Ahmed Bradshaw. Because Ahmed Bradshaw still laid the lumber. Just that the problem is his running mate was 6'3", 280. So, so he's like, I guess I'm the small running back in this case. And Ahmed Bradshaw wasn't that small. That's the thing that's crazy. That people thought he was small, but like he wasn't that small. I think he was. Let me double check. He was like 5'11", 5'11", 2 something. Let me double check. I don't know why I clicked that. Shout to Virginia. Wait, he went to Marshall. Yeah, he was 5'10", 217. Oh, he was talking about. You were talking about Pearson, number 88. Every other 88, known or all Pro Bowlers. No, exactly. Except you just said except Antonio Bryant, right? That's the one you don't talk about. Yeah, Antonio Bryant is the one they don't talk about. But all the other 88s have kind of panned out.
Yeah,
right. Dez, CD. How many 88s have been there?
That's it.
5.
Yeah.
So Pearson, Irvin, CD, Dez, Antonio Bryant. So 4 out of 5 ain't that bad.
Yeah, that's why it's a legacy number.
Yeah, it ain't that bad. 2 Hall of Famers, and one very good player before injuries, and CD Lamb, who's probably the best wide receiver in the division right now. If you think about it, I'm still waiting on Malik Neighbors. Give him one more year.
I like how when they were posting all the NFC East receivers, if you saw those posts, you saw the Giants with one. Everybody else has a duo, and the Giants have their one. One guy.
We have one guy. But also too, like they talked about the weapons in the NFC East now, and they completely it was just the 3 teams. The Giants weren't there.
Yeah, they were.
It was Saquon, Jalen.
How do you feel about it? Because now the Cowboys with George Pickens, now the Cowboys are back up there with the Washington Commanders. Not saying we're right there with the Eagles. We're competing with the Eagles.
Well, we'll do our positional rankings later on.
I'm just saying, as we are feeling going into this, I mean, how do you feel? The Cowboys have gotten better. The Commanders are getting better. The Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, and you guys are still down there. You
know what? We'll see if we'll see if the thing is, we'll see if that QB, the QBs they got, was it just bad QB play? We'll see. We'll see if Brian Daboll can coach some good QB play, we'll see about that. The best 88 all time is Eric Lindros, hockey legend. Shout out to you, Ryan. It's the NFC East. It's the NFC feast this year. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It is. Yeah. And there's a chance all three can make the playoffs. I'm not gonna say the Giants will, because I saw the Giants schedule. I saw their home schedule. There's a chance they go 1-7, 2-6. It's just it. Because they're losing all the divisional games. The Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys. Back in the day, I used to guarantee 2 wins at least because the Commanders. It's like the one thing Daniel Jones
they got 2 wins against you now.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing Daniel Jones could do, the one thing he could do, is beat the Washington Commanders. That was the only thing he ever did. He used to either split with them or sweep them. I think he's 5-3-1 against them. But they have Jaden Daniels. They have Laramie Tunsil, Scary Terry, who's funny. Debo. Well, we'll see what Debo shows up. Is the Debo from last year or the Debo from 2 years ago? We'll see. Because we don't know. Niners fans were very upset with him last year because he got fat, out of shape. I trust me, Niners fans. I know Niners fans, bro. I live here. Niners fans were not happy with him at all. They were like, you're too buddy with Jalen, with AJ Brown. Like, I know you're friends, but like, bruh, like we're trying to win games here. So yeah, so there's that. So the Niners fans were not sad that they traded him. You know what I mean? They're not sad. And we're kicking DQ in the dingling. You know what? Maybe, Luis. That's true. Because you guys did beat the Commanders last year.
Should have been the same time, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you beat them the first time in a pretty crazy way.
We to beat them in the final game too.
Yeah, no, because like you guys gave up the game-winning touchdown and then you scored on the kickoff. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird way. It was a weird way.
Returns.
Yeah, it was a weird way thing to do. So so the Giants. We'll see if that defensive line creates havoc. let's see. You know, we'll see. You know, they're all 250. You know, we do have Darius Alexander now, and there is Dexter Lawrence there, so we do have a good inside presence with Dexter. Let's see if Darius. We'll see if he does something because he's still a rookie. Same thing with Abdul Carter. We don't know with Abdul Carter. Could he be Michael Parsons? Maybe, or maybe not. We don't know. He did see what happened with Michael in the NFL and decided to transition early to the defensive line. You know, we'll see because he wasn't off, but Caleb, just like Micah, he came to Penn State off-ball linebacker. And then he saw what happened to Micah, and he decided, let me just switch over because defensive ends make more money. Let me learn how to play defensive end. And the last 2 years, he'd been learning how to play defensive end. You know, that's what it is. Let's see what if that happens to LeVar Arrington II. Because if that does, then that means what's the point of even being an off-ball linebacker? You know what I mean? So we'll see about that.
It's because you're not fast enough to be an edge.
You're not fast enough to be an edge. You're not a middle linebacker because they don't trust you to diagnose plays. So you're either just there to basically run around with your hair on fire. Huh?
You're just a chaser at that point.
Yeah, basically, you know, you're basically, you know, just seek and destroy. Yeah, Micah McFadden. That's what it is. You're Micah McFadden. You're Micah McFadden. Shout out to Micah. He is actually one of the picks that panned out because 5th round panned out, you know. That's true. The Eagles did well, they didn't lose half their defense.
They lost a lot of it. They lost almost their entire starting DBs.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
Just Darius Slay. Just Darius Slay.
And they lost their their safeties too.
Reed Blankenship is still there.
What about CJ?
Yeah, but they lost him a couple years ago, and but they were bad.
They were bad that season too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. They need to replace the safeties. That's true. They need to replace the safeties. All right, New York, nobody was worried. All right, let's calm it down, Luis. All right, let's calm it down. Washington, we could have beaten twice. Yeah, you could have, but you didn't. You could have, but you didn't. You know what I mean?
Cooper Rush. I mean, what do you expect?
But you didn't. You know, you beat them in the first game. You know, you could have, but you also beat them in the first game in a very lucky way. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like you guys beat them. You know what I mean?
We did beat them. They actually got lucky and got a lucky play down the field.
Well, that's just because your DB sucked. You know what I mean?
At that point, they were all hurt because Trayvon was hurting. We were playing Andrew Booth. Like, my God, that guy is the worst goddamn corner I've ever seen in my entire life. He is a garbage corner. Like, I've never seen a worse corner in my life.
You know what's funny enough? He was actually like the number 1 corner in the nation when he was at Penn State. I mean, at Clemson.
Awful.
At Penn State, Clemson.
Awful.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. All right. That's pretty much it. Ain't got much to do.
Did you even say what Abdul Carter's number is?
It's 51.
Oh, yeah, it's 51.
It's 51. But I thought it's subject to change because I thought Jalen Hyatt was going to keep his number. So I bought his jersey. Then he switched it literally a week before the season. And now I have an 84 Jalen Hyatt jersey that doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You know, he wears 13 now. But look at our trenches now. Okay. You have a left tackle that still doesn't know how to play left tackle. Your guard near your
interior is great. Yeah, don't even try to talk like our interior is great now.
Well, one's a rookie, so we'll see.
Zach Martin was a rookie. He still was great.
Exactly. So, but people didn't call him a Hall of Famer.
Frederick was a yeah, they were. They literally were.
Right away.
Before game
Hall
of Famer.
Before game
I
one.
called him a Hall of Famer right away.
You're such a liar.
What are you talking about? DeMarco Murray ran for his most 1,800 yards. Of course, a lot of that.
Exactly, Caleb. Let me tell you, Caleb. Before game 1, did you call him a Hall of Famer? That's what I'm saying. Let's watch him first. Let's watch him first.
We already know.
No, you don't.
We already know.
People called Zach Martin a Hall of Famer after they watched him play. We'll see. Let's watch him game 1. Watch him game 1. Let's see. By the way, Tyler Smith, he has a holding problem. He always get called for holds.
He doesn't.
Yes, he does.
That was gone. That was gone after the rookie year. What are you talking about?
All right, we'll see.
That dude is a great guard.
So, when he played left tackle, he had a holding problem. That's true. Yeah. Give him my address. Don't tell me I'm wrong because he wasn't very good. You people told me. I didn't tell myself. Cowboys fans said he ain't good.
I mean,
He's still raw. He's still raw. Yeah, he's still a rookie. Oh, but we knew the other rookies were Hall of Famers right away,
we
right?
did. Well, he had flaws. He had flaws.
Why draft him then?
Because we need a left tackle. We just got rid of Tyron Smith. Were we just gonna play with no tackle?
You could have traded up for Troy Fontenot, Talisi Fuaga. You could have traded up for any of those guys.
Well, guess what? We got rid of all of our picks for Jonathan Mingo. That's why.
That's why. Shout out to the Mingo. Shout out to the Mingo. But yeah, so he wore Jackson Dart wore 6. He's probably not keeping that number. I don't know why he would have that. That's Russell Wilson's number. You know, Russell Wilson wears 6, right?
He wears
6.
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, I thought it was 6. My bad. Our last 3 rookies were signed. Marcus Umbaugh, Thomas Fidone, and Corey Black. They all signed their contracts. And you know, I got a question. So, okay, now I'm confused. I just saw something. We signed Gabe Davis. I think that's...
You signed Gabe Davis?
Is that...
When did that happen?
No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I got got. Yeah. I got got by Jordan Holtz, a Jordan Schultz thing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But I didn't know. I didn't believe it right away, but I was like, is that true? I don't know. So we don't have Gabe Davis. No Gabe Davis.
You have you have crap receivers.
You think Gabe Davis is better than Darius Slayton?
I mean,
or do you think they're like the same player?
He gets more touchdowns than Darius Slayton.
We'll see. You know, I bet you'll ask him to stop holding you. Let me go. All right. Of course he's gonna whoop my ass. He's 6'8". Like, what are we doing here? He's 6'8", 320. Of course, I'm not gonna have a chance to you know, I don't fight football players. That's not happening because they're crazy. Gotta pay, you know what I mean? So that's whatever. But on that note, not really much going on. Walkthroughs. Rookie mini camp doesn't really tell you much. It's all about press conferences that you really need to focus on, how they handle the media, what they're doing. You know what I mean? The Giants guys did it very well. But on that note, you know, Caleb, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and X/Twitter. And you can find me on this channel every Friday at 3 o'clock.
All right, guys. My name is Faraz Milano. You find me at Faraz Milano on Twitter. Find me here every day, 3 o'clock, every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific. This Sunday, we're not doing open table. Friday, this Saturday, our Hulk review of our MCU rewatch is gonna come out on our entertainment channel.
We're only on the Hulk?
Well, yeah, we started it last week.
I know. We're only on the Hulk?
Yeah, man, it's week 2, second movie.
Oh, we're gonna do one a week?
Well, people got jobs and schedules, man.
This is gonna take like 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm down.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful time, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.